Hey, this is Chris. I'm with Co-Fitness, where I work with men and women, 40, 50, and 60 that play golf and just general fitness. And today I want to talk about fitness is not by accident, but it is a formula. And the formula changes when we get 40, 50, and 60. Now, the formula had to change for me because when I was younger, the formula is nutrition, cardio, and weight training. And in my 20s and 30s, my nutrition was different, my cardio was different, and my weight training was extremely different. I lifted really, really heavy. Now that I'm in my 50s, the formula has changed. So we don't work out at 40 and 50 like we did in our 20s and 30s, so our formula has to change. So I want to give you the new formula if you're 40 and 50. So nutrition, cardio, and weight training. Nutrition is going to be about 80-90% of this pie. So if you're looking to gain weight or lose weight, you don't lose weight in the gym, you lose weight in the kitchen. And I believe that fat doesn't make you fat, but I believe insulin influx makes you fat. So if you keep yourself on a positive insulin balance throughout the day, then you'll be fine. So the normal person eats, let's say 7, 12, and 7. So they eat at 7, they eat something very quick and accessible and easy, and basically it spikes their insulin. Let's say it's a bagel or it's oatmeal, and it spikes their insulin. Around 10 o'clock, their insulin starts dropping, but they don't eat again until 12, so they're going to do everything they can to get that insulin back up, so they eat too much carbs again. So they eat carbs again, spikes their insulin, 3 o'clock starts dropping, 7 o'clock comes around, got to get that insulin back up, and there's this roller coaster right throughout the day. So I believe in having bridges. So what I had to change personally in my nutrition is, number one, because my A1C, because I was pre-diabetic, I had to lower my carbohydrates. As we get older, we pretty much, that's why we get older, because our pancreas, which when you take in a carbohydrate, a complex or a simple, and the pancreas releases insulin, but it doesn't happen when we're young. We're seeing it more now with younger kids because they're getting so much processed food and so much sugar every single day because we're on these high energy rich carbohydrate diets. But the key is I had to lower my carbohydrates. So for breakfast, I'm not eating as much carbohydrates. I'm pretty much eating 4 eggs, 2 whole, 2 whites with some mixed vegetables and some mushrooms. And then for lunch, I'm having some turkey meat with some vegetable medley. And then for dinner, I'm having pretty much a collagen, not a whey protein shake because that's a very cheap type of protein, but I use casein, which basically it's a slower absorbing protein throughout the body. So, and if I get hungry during the day, yes, I'll have something like, I like rice cakes. And I know that's not the best, but it's better than sugar, and it controls my insulin. So now that I'm over 50, I've had to change my nutrition. So my suggestion to you, if you're not diabetic, and if you're not pre-diabetic, and if you want to keep the carbs in you, that's fine. If you're pre-diabetic, you want to lower the carbohydrates a little bit, and pretty much I would say stay away from anything with oats in it, which is sucrose, fructose, maltose, dextrose. Stay away from the milk products and the sugar products. Then if you are D2, of course that can be controlled 100% by nutrition. And if you're pre-diabetic, just slow down on the carbohydrates. But if you're not, then you're probably one of the very few that are not pre-diabetic. So you can pretty much have whatever you want. So I'd suggest to have a bridge in there. So if you eat at 7, 12, and 7, have your bridge around 10 o'clock. And nuts and almonds and things, and then around 3 o'clock have another bridge as well. The key is fat doesn't make you fat, but insulin influx makes you fat. If you can keep yourself on a positive insulin balance throughout the day, then you're going to be fine. Next, let's talk about cardio. Cardio has changed throughout the years, and it's funny because when we were younger, we focused more on the weight training, and then as we get older, they tell us they need to do more cardio. Well, guys, I don't know about you, but my heart is okay. I need more muscle. I need more resistance training. So the whole cardio, the slow, steady state cardio, which is this 30 minutes, 45 minutes, is actually doing more harm than good. We want to do more burst training cardio. So if you thought about going up a hill, so in high school and school, whenever they made us sprint the front, walk the turns, sprint the front, walk the turns, that's probably the best type of cardio that we can do. Now at my age, I can't sprint anymore, I can't flip tires anymore, I can't do what I could do when I was younger. So I do get on a stationary bike and I'll go for 20 seconds as hard as I can, and then I'll recover for 10, 20 seconds, as hard as I can, recover for 10, and I'll do that 8 rounds, and I do that 3 days a week. And basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get my heart rate up, and I'm trying to see how fast that heart rate will recover. It's called VO2 max oxidative recovery. And I'm trying to get my heart as strong as it can be in my 50s, 60s, and 70s. So the slow steady state cardio is good once or twice a week. Hey, if you want to go outside and walk around, that's great. But the most important thing is I want to get my heart strong, and that's done by burst type cardio, or you might have heard it as HIIT, high interval intermittent training. And KEEP is called EPOC. It's post oxygen consumption, which actually helps you actually burn more calories throughout the day, but that's another story. Now let's talk about resistance training. The resistance training is actually more important. Let me say that again. More important in our 40s, 50s, and 60s, and 70s than it was in our 20s and 30s. Why? As we get more seasoned, we go through sarcopenia, we lose muscle tissue, we lose bone density, we lose fast twitch muscle fibers. So we need to do more resistance training. And I'm talking about with weights, dumbbells, barbells, bands, but we need to do resistance training at least 3 to 4 times a week. And I like to do my whole entire body in one session. So I'll do chest, back, shoulders, quads, biceps, tris in one workout, and I do core, and it lasts me about 20, 25 minutes. But I do it in a circuit style system. But the most important reason why we want to do this, guys, is we want to create stability. When you create strength, you create stability. Stability helps with balance. Balance is going to reduce your falls. Falls is going to reduce injuries. So once we fall when we're 60s and 70s, it's very hard to recover after that. So start resistance training 40, 50, 60. Start doing a resistance training now. Get strong, stay strong, keep your balance strong, keep your core strong so your balance stays better throughout our 40s, 50s, and 60s. Reduce falls, reduce injuries, and the stuff that happens when we get older. So let's recap. Formula, fitness is not just by accident. Fitness is a formula, and the formula does change in our 40s, 50s, and 60s. When we're younger, the nutrition is different. We eat more carbs. The cardio is different. The weight training is a lot different. We lift heavier. We don't need to recover as much. But when we get in our 40s, 50s, and 60s, we do go through something called sarcopenia. So my nutrition, I keep the protein high. I keep the complex carbohydrates. I stay away from the complex as much as I can. And I go with more fibrous vegetables. I do have complex on the days that I do legs. And then on the cardio, instead of the long 45 minutes to an hour, which also I didn't mention, but releases cortisol, it releases a lot of hormones in our body that are actually counterproductive to what we're trying to achieve. And most important for the resistance training, keep the resistance training high. If I'm gonna say the highest priority, if you're trying to gain weight, lose weight, or whatever, the nutrition is gonna be 80, 90%. Next, I'm gonna say it's the resistance training. Next, I'm gonna say it's the cardio. The cardio is gonna be done. It takes about 5 minutes to do the VO2 max oxidative recovery, and the resistance training, train your entire body in one session, 3 to 4 times a week. Again, Chris with Co-Fitness, where I help golfers and general fitness 40, 50, and 60. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. See you next time.